Hello, I'm Kevin Trimmer, Product Manager for Motor Protection with Eaton's Control and Power Conversion Division. Today we're going to discuss the C440 Electronic Overload Relay, Eaton's base level offering within the C400 series of advanced motor protection. Electronic overload relays are used in a variety of applications including motor control centers, enclosed control, and OEM panels. The C440 is a compact, high-featured electronic overload relay designed on a global platform to cover the entire power control spectrum, including NEMA, IEC, and definite purpose contactor applications. Although it is a single platform, there are two different designations depending on the mounting configuration. C440 is used for the NEMA and definite purpose mounting applications, and the XTOE designation is used for IEC mounting applications to XT contactors. There are actually 4 different mounting configurations available for this overload. The first is direct mounted to a NEMA Freedom contactor up to 140 amps or a NEMA size 4. We designate this starter solution as the AN19. Above 140 amps, we use external current transformers that can be used to cover ranges up to 1500 amps. We also direct mount the C440 overload to the C25 definite purpose contactor, and we do that up to 100 amps. We designate that starter solution as the A30 and the B30 series of definite purpose starters. Direct mounted to the XT-IEC contactors up to 175 amps. We call this the XTOE. Above 175 amps, we also utilize an external current transformer solution for applications up to 1500 amps. Finally, we have a standalone solution that can be panel or DIN rail mounted for cable in, cable out applications for use with any contactor. There's a few main reasons that a customer would want to move from a traditional bimetallic overload solution to an electronic solution like the C440. The first is the wide FLA range offered by this device. Unlike traditional bimetallic overloads that require the user to purchase separate heater packs matched to the exact application, the C440 offers a large 5-to-1 full load amp adjustment setting, such as 4 to 20 amps or 20 to 100 amps in a single device. This allows you to cover a much larger set of applications with a single overload. Traditional bimetallic overload solutions offer somewhere in the range of 1.6 to 1. So that requires that distributors and customers stock a large variety of catalog numbers to cover all of their possible applications. In fact, by using a C440 versus a standard overload device, you can reduce or eliminate the number of SKUs by about 15 to 20 times. So that leads to lower inventory costs, better uptime, as you can be sure if a unit fails, you'll have the right device on the shelf to go get that motor back up and running. The second reason that a customer would use a C440 versus a traditional device is communication capability. And there's really 2 basic reasons that customers do communication networks on motor starters. The first is customers want to monitor data and see what's going on throughout their process. The C440 has solutions to meet the demands of that application. Customers also look to do monitoring and control. We have solutions to meet that as well. For monitoring applications, the C440 has a removable cover on the bottom of the device. I've removed it here. And we have a component called the C440 XCOM, which can be inserted into that port, giving the customer monitoring communication capability on the C440 over Modbus RTU serial. With this solution, customers can monitor status, individual phase currents, average 3-phase currents, thermal capacity, fault codes, phase imbalance, and ground fault current. This port can also be used to electronically reset the overload from a remote location. For customers who also wish to not only monitor but also control the starter over communications, that same C440 XCOM can be connected to a DIN rail mounted C441 communication module. This provides the user with 4 inputs and 2 outputs in both AC and DC configurations, giving them the ability to control the starter unit. From the C441 communication module, the customer can connect to a Modbus RTU network, Profibus, DeviceNet, Modbus TCP, and Ethernet IP, which provides the most flexible communication solution in the mid-range electronic overload market. The third reason the customer would use a C440 is superior motor protections and flexibility. Now the C440 comes in two versions, standard and ground fault. On the standard version, the user has 4 dip switches located on the front of the device. The first 2 dip switches allow you to set the motor trip class. Options are available for class 10A, 10, 20, and 30. The third dip switch is used to select between manual and automatic reset, and the fourth dip switch is used to enable or disable the internal phase imbalance protection. No additional modules are needed for that feature. It's built right into the overload, so there's no snap-on module required for phase imbalance. On the ground fault version of the C440, the only difference is that you still have 4 dip switches on the front of the device, but the second dip switch is actually used to enable or disable the internal ground fault protection. So that replaces one of those trip class dip switches from the standard version. This means that a user gets class 10 and class 20 capability for the ground fault C440. As with phase imbalance, the ground fault protection doesn't require any additional snap-on module or current sensor. It's built directly into the C440 overload device. Finally, there's a health LED located on all the C440 units on the front of the device here. That provides users with positive indication that the overload is working. If an overload condition is building up, this LED will begin to blink at faster rates, and that's going to provide the user with indication that a fault is possibly going to occur. Hopefully this session has helped provided you with a basic understanding of Eaton's C440 electronic overload relay, the base device within Eaton's C400 series of global advanced motor protection. For more information, please visit www.eaton.com/C440. Thank you.